Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely because what I'm about to tell you is the real secret that separates silent success from loud mediocrity. It's not glamour, it's not luck, it's not one brilliant moment. Wealth isn't built in explosions. It's forged quietly day after day in habits so small most people ignore them. The truth is that the most extraordinary achievements in life are rarely the result of sudden windfalls or flashes of genius. They are the outcome of consistent, deliberate choices repeated over years and decades, choices that may seem insignificant in isolation but accumulate into results that astonish the world. What separates those who quietly prosper from those who chase fleeting trends is not intelligence alone, nor is it charisma or connections. It is discipline, patience, and an unrelenting commitment to doing the right thing over and over again, even when no one is watching. The first of these habits is reading, not casually, not just for entertainment, but with the intent to learn, to understand, to grow. Those who succeed quietly are voracious readers. They consume information like fuel for their decisions, studying reports, books, and analyses that deepen their understanding of the world. They know that knowledge compounds, just like money does. Every insight, every principle absorbed today becomes a tool they can deploy tomorrow, turning small actions into exponential growth over time. The mind of a disciplined reader becomes a fortress of understanding, capable of seeing opportunities others overlook and making choices based on wisdom rather than impulse. Next comes the principle of value over noise. The world is full of distractions, full of people shouting about the latest trend, the next big thing, the shiny opportunity. But those who quietly build wealth ask a different question. Does this have intrinsic value? Is this something that will endure? They focus on fundamentals, on quality, on strength that is proven and sustainable. While the masses chase hype, they invest in substance. They understand that real growth comes from things that endure, not from excitement that fades with the next headline. They are patient in evaluating, cautious in committing, and relentless in seeking true worth. Patience itself is perhaps the most underestimated habit. In a society obsessed with instant gratification, quiet achievers embrace the long game. They understand that the compounding of effort, intellect, and resources over years is far more powerful than any quick win. They stay the course when others panic, they hold when others sell, and they allow time to amplify the effects of smart decisions. This patience is not passive. It is an active discipline that requires confidence, courage, and the ability to ignore short-term noise while keeping eyes fixed firmly on long-term goals. Equally important is simplicity and frugality. Wealth is often mistaken for lavish spending, but true financial freedom comes from restraint, from making conscious choices about where and how resources are used. Living simply allows focus, reduces distraction, and channels energy and money toward investments that yield lasting returns. It cultivates discipline, a sense of control, and the freedom to make strategic decisions rather than reactive ones. Every dollar saved and wisely invested compounds into greater opportunity, greater stability, and greater freedom. Finally, mastery over emotions is what allows all other habits to flourish. Fear and greed are the greatest enemies of wealth and progress. Those who quietly prosper know how to regulate their emotions, to remain calm when others panic, to stay rational when others act on impulse. Emotional discipline allows them to make decisions based on facts and logic, not hysteria or desire. It is the anchor that keeps all other habits effective, the stabilizing force that ensures patience, reading, simplicity, and focus are applied consistently, not haphazardly. So understand this. Quiet wealth is not a product of luck or spectacle. It is the product of small, consistent actions repeated over time. It is about discipline, patience, focus, and wisdom. If you adopt these habits not just for a week or a month, but as a way of life, the results will speak for themselves. The world may notice your success in a sudden moment, but it is the quiet, unseen efforts that make that success inevitable. Start today and build quietly, deliberately, and relentlessly, for it is in these tiny, overlooked habits that true prosperity lives. Habit number 1 is simple in appearance, but profound in its effect. Read like your wealth depends on it. Most people scroll through life, through social media, headlines, snippets of information, absorbing very little, learning even less. They mistake busyness for productivity and noise for insight. The truth is, knowledge is the currency of long-term success, and it compounds in ways that money alone cannot. The richest minds don't scroll, they study, they read. They absorb, they understand that every idea, every principle, every story they encounter becomes part of a mental framework they can use to make decisions that matter. Every page you read adds to your reservoir of knowledge. And just as money invested wisely compounds over decades, knowledge invested wisely compounds in your mind. The small decisions you make today, the articles you read, the books you study, the reports you analyze, quietly shape the quality of every choice you will make tomorrow. Knowledge does not announce itself. It works behind the scenes. It accumulates silently until one day it delivers results that appear sudden or miraculous, when in reality they were decades in the making. The habits of reading, of learning, of constantly seeking understanding are what set apart the quietly wealthy from the loud and flashy. Some of the most successful investors and thinkers in history spend hours each day reading. They do not chase headlines. They do not seek gossip. They do not rely on flashy tips or the next big trend. Instead, they immerse themselves in annual reports, in financial statements, in histories of businesses and industries. They study market cycles, human behavior, and decision-making patterns. They understand that wisdom is cumulative, that the ideas of yesterday, when understood and applied today, create the foundation for the wealth of tomorrow. It is not simply the act of reading that matters, but how thoughtfully and intentionally that reading is approached. Random reading entertains. Focused reading transforms. Reading like your wealth depends on it is not just about money or investing. It is about becoming better at life itself. It is about understanding people, understanding trends, understanding risk and opportunity, and understanding yourself. When you devote time each day to studying what truly matters, you sharpen your mind, expand your judgment, and develop the ability to see connections where others see chaos. You begin to anticipate problems before they arise, spot opportunities before they become obvious, and make decisions with a clarity and confidence that others envy but cannot replicate. The benefits of reading are invisible at first. They do not show up on a bank statement emend. They do not earn applause or recognition. But over time, the compound effect is undeniable. Every insight, every lesson, every principle you internalize becomes a tool, a lever you can pull when opportunity knocks. Reading builds patience, discipline, and perspective. It teaches you to think critically, to question assumptions, and to look beyond the surface. And in a world obsessed with speed, flash, and noise, those who take the time to read and reflect gain a quiet but extraordinary advantage. So make this habit non-negotiable. Carve out time each day to read, not just a page or two, not just a headline or summary, but deeply, intentionally, with focus. Study what the experts study, learn from history, analyze the successes and failures of others, and internalize the lessons that will guide your own decisions. Treat every page as an investment. Treat every idea as a seed, because in the end, the knowledge you cultivate will shape the wealth you build, the decisions you make, and the life you lead. If you read consistently, thoughtfully, and strategically, your mind will become a compounding engine of value that no market fluctuation, no trend, and no short-term distraction can ever undermine. Habit number 2 is to let value, not noise, drive your decisions. The world is loud, the market is loud, the news is loud. Every day, everywhere you look, someone is shouting about the next big opportunity, the next hot trend, the latest can't miss investment. And most people, most of the time, respond to that noise. They chase what's shiny, what's popular, what everyone else is chasing. But success, real, lasting success, does not follow the crowd. It follows the principles of value, it follows patience, it follows discipline. The quietly wealthy ask one simple question whenever an opportunity arises. Is this real value, or is it just hype? They train themselves to look beyond the surface, to dig into the fundamentals, to distinguish between short-term excitement and enduring worth. They understand that what is popular today may be worthless tomorrow, and what is overlooked today may be priceless in the future. Noise can make people react impulsively, selling when they should hold, buying when they should wait. Value, on the other hand, provides a compass, a guiding principle that withstands market swings, hype cycles, and the ever-changing opinions of the crowd. Evaluating value requires patience and discipline. It means studying the intrinsic qualities of a business, an investment, or a decision rather than being swayed by popularity or sentiment. It means understanding earnings, debt, management quality, competitive advantage, and sustainability. It means recognizing that what endures over time is far more important than what shines for a moment. The quietly wealthy focus on substance, not spectacle. They buy strength, not applause. They invest in companies that have resilient business models, capable leadership, and clear advantages that protect them against competition. They avoid chasing trends that are driven by emotion, fear, or greed, because those trends are fleeting and decisions based on them are often costly. This principle applies far beyond investing. In life, the same lesson holds true. Don't be seduced by appearances. Don't let the loudest voices dictate your choices. Evaluate situation. Says people and opportunities based on their enduring value, not on how exciting they seem in the moment. The crowd often mistakes noise for wisdom, spectacle for substance, and temporary popularity for long-term benefit. By tuning out the noise and focusing on real value, you position yourself to make decisions that are rational, informed, and ultimately more rewarding. The world rewards those who can see what others overlook. Trends and fads are fleeting. Real value compounds. The quietly wealthy understand that enduring success is not about quick wins or showy gestures. It is about careful, considered decisions that may go unnoticed in the moment, but accumulate powerfully over time. By consistently applying this principle, They create a body of work, a portfolio, and a life that are built on foundations that will not crumble when the excitement fades or the crowd moves on. Letting value guide your decisions also requires courage. It is often uncomfortable to go against popular opinion, to resist the urge to follow the herd, to wait patiently while others act impulsively. But courage is a prerequisite for true wealth, because lasting results rarely come from convenience or conformity. When everyone else is chasing the latest trend, those who stick to value are quietly building strength that will pay off in ways that the loud, reactive crowd will never achieve. So train yourself to think differently. Make it a habit to ask the hard questions. Is this real? Is this sustainable? Will it hold up over time? Or is it merely a passing distraction? When you make decisions through the lens of value rather than noise, you develop clarity, discipline, and confidence. You free yourself from the anxiety of following the crowd. You stop reacting to hype and start acting based on wisdom. And in doing so, you position yourself not only for financial success, but for a life of thou, thoughtful, purposeful, and quiet achievement. Remember, applause fades, trends end, and noise disappears. But real value endures. Those who learn to focus on it, study it, and act upon it quietly, deliberately, and consistently are the ones who ultimately win. It is not flashy, it is not easy, but it is timeless. Let value, not noise, guide your decisions, and you will discover that lasting wealth, stability, and success are the natural consequences of your discipline. Habit number 3 is patience, the quiet, powerful advantage that the world rarely appreciates. We live in a society obsessed with instant results, with rapid gratification, with measuring success in days, weeks, or months, rather than in years or decades. Most people want to see immediate outcomes. They chase quick wins, hoping for overnight success, and they panic when results do not appear instantly. But real wealth, real achievement, and real growth do not operate on a schedule dictated by impatience. Great wealth isn't a sprint. It is a marathon measured in decades, not days. Those who understand the value of patience gain a distinct edge. They do not react to every market fluctuation, every headline, or every rumor. When others panic, they hold. When others sell, they stay invested. They understand that time is an ally, and compounding is its magic. Money, knowledge, skills, and relationships, all of these grow slowly, quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one day the results are undeniable. Patience allows them to endure uncertainty and volatility without making impulsive decisions that could destroy long-term gains. It transforms minor, consistent actions into extraordinary outcomes. Patience also cultivates wisdom. By taking the long view, you learn to observe patterns, understand cycles, and anticipate what might come next. You develop the ability to distinguish between temporary setbacks and permanent failures. You stop being swept away by emotion, and you begin making decisions grounded in logic, strategy, and experience. Patience teaches you that not every opportunity must be seized immediately, and not every loss requires panic. It teaches the value of waiting, of being deliberate, and of trusting the process. Moreover, patience is not passive. It is an active discipline, a conscious choice to resist impulsive decisions, to maintain focus, and to allow your efforts to compound over time. It is the difference between fleeting results and enduring success. Those who embrace this habit quietly accumulate wealth, knowledge, and advantage, while the impatient chase illusions and short-term gains. Over time, this compounding effect becomes unstoppable, creating results that appear effortless to outsiders but are the product of decades of disciplined patience. In a world fixated on speed, the ability to wait, to endure, and to trust in the slow, steady accumulation of effort is your most powerful competitive advantage. Patience turns ordinary choices into extraordinary outcomes, proving that slow, deliberate action wins in the long run where haste and impulsiveness fail. Habit number 4 is simplicity and frugality, a principle that may seem old-fashioned in a world obsessed with excess, but it is one of the most powerful tools for building lasting freedom and success. Many people believe that success is measured by the size of one's possessions, the luxury of one's lifestyle, or the attention one receives. They chase bigger houses, fancier cars, and flashier symbols of status, mistaking display for substance. But the quietly successful understand something different. True wealth is created through smart choices, not through indulgence. Success doesn't come from living large. It comes from living smart. Simplicity is not about deprivation. It is a bow. Clarity, it strips away the unnecessary distractions that cloud judgment and dilute effort. When your life is simple, you can focus on what really matters. You devote time, energy, and resources to activities that generate real value rather than to superficial pursuits that only provide temporary satisfaction. Frugality is a companion to simplicity. It is the conscious decision to spend less than you earn, to prioritize long-term security over short-term pleasure, and to invest the surplus wisely. Every dollar saved and thoughtfully allocated becomes a seed that grows over time, generating opportunity and freedom that cannot be bought with impulsive spending. A modest lifestyle does more than preserve wealth. It sharpens focus. When you remove the noise of excess, your mind becomes clearer, your priorities become sharper, and your decisions become more intentional. You stop being distracted by wants that add little value and start concentrating on activities, investments, and relationships that truly matter. By choosing simplicity, you force yourself to concentrate on building something enduring, something of substance, not just appearance. Simplicity and frugality also create freedom. When your needs are modest, your risks are lower, and your choices expand, you are no longer enslaved by obligations to maintain a facade or to keep up with the crowd. You can allocate your time, energy, and resources toward opportunities that genuinely improve your life and the lives of others. You gain independence, the freedom to make decisions from a position of strength rather than necessity. In essence, simplicity and frugality are not just financial strategies, they are life strategies. They empower focus, cultivate discipline, and amplify the effect of every investment of money, time, or energy. By living smart and avoiding excess, you create a foundation upon which our enduring wealth and lasting freedom can flourish. Habit number 5 is control over your emotions, the ultimate determinant of your outcomes. The biggest battles are rarely fought in the markets, in negotiations, or in the boardroom. They are fought in the mind. Every decision, every action, every opportunity is influenced by how well you can manage your own emotional responses. Fear and greed are powerful forces, and left unchecked, they can destroy years of effort in an instant. They push people to sell when they should hold, to buy when they should wait, and to chase the fleeting excitement of the moment rather than the steady path of rational, disciplined action. Quiet success is built by those who master their emotional impulses. They understand that panic is a poor advisor, that excitement is often deceptive, and that impulsive decisions almost always come at a cost. They cultivate calm and rational decision-making, even in the face of volatility, uncertainty, or social pressure. When everyone else is reacting, they are observing. When everyone else is panicking, they are calculating. When everyone else is chasing the next fad, they are staying true to their strategy. This level of discipline is not easy because it requires resisting the most primal human instincts, the desire for instant gratification, the fear of missing out, and the urge to react emotionally to temporary setbacks. Emotional control is not about suppressing feeling. It is about directing energy. It is about transforming anxiety into focus, fear into preparation, and excitement into opportunity. By remaining composed, you gain clarity, and with clarity comes better judgment. You can evaluate situations more accurately, make decisions based on facts rather than speculation, and act with patience and confidence rather than desperation. Over time, this ability compounds, just like money. Every C, or rack decision made calmly and thoughtfully strengthens your position, while every impulsive mistake avoided protects you from setbacks that could derail years of progress. Moreover, controlling your emotions allows you to maintain consistency, the invisible engine behind all lasting success. It prevents you from swinging with every market fluctuation, from following the crowd, or from being distracted by temporary noise. Instead, you stick to principles, strategies, and habits that have proven to work. Quiet success, then, is the natural result of disciplined thought, measured action, and emotional mastery. Those who achieve it understand that the mind is the most important tool they possess. By training it, controlling it, and aligning it with deliberate purpose, they ensure that their outcomes reflect their long-term goals rather than momentary impulses. In short, mastering your emotions is mastering your life. It is the difference between fleeting gains and lasting achievement, between chaos and calm, between noise and wisdom. Those who succeed quietly do so because they act with intention, not reaction, and their steady composure becomes their greatest advantage in a world driven by emotion. Let me tell you what these habits really mean in your life. On the surface, they may seem small, almost insignificant. Reading a few pages each day, taking time to evaluate value instead of chasing noise, being patient when the world demands instant results, choosing simplicity over extravagance, controlling your emotions when fear and greed run rampant. These actions may appear trivial when taken one at a time. They are not flashy. They do not make headlines. Yet this is exactly what makes them so powerful. Small routines, immaterial in isolation, accumulate into extraordinary results over time. They are the quiet forces that shape your future, mold your decisions, and create outcomes that others only dream of substitutes. They are not shortcuts. They are not hacks that give you temporary gains or make you feel successful for a moment. They are lifelines, lifelines to lasting accomplishment, to enduring wealth, to a life that can withstand every cycle, every downturn, and every distraction that life throws at you. The world often mistakes spectacle for skill, speed for success, and noise for achievement. Headlines celebrate the flashy wins of the moment, but they rarely capture the years of quiet, deliberate work that made those wins possible. True success does not scream. It builds, it grows, it accumulates silently, steadily, and relentlessly. Consistency is the ultimate measure of character and capability. The world doesn't reward flash. It honors persistence. It honors those who show up every day, who take deliberate action and who refuse to be swayed by temporary excitement or fear. It honors people who understand that the compounding effect of small, correct decisions over time is more powerful than any momentary display of brilliance. What you do day in and day out, the small choices, the disciplined actions, the thoughtful decisions, matters far more than any loud moment or headline ever could. If you cultivate the right habits consistently, they will compound into results that are undeniable, unstoppable, and life-changing. So I challenge you today, adopt these habits, not for a week, not for a month, not just when it's convenient or when you feel motivated. Adopt them for a lifetime. Make them non-negotiable. Let them define the way you approach every decision, every opportunity, and every challenge. Read every day, seek value over noise, practice patience, embrace simplicity, and master your emotions. Let these habits guide your actions, shape your thinking, and anchor your approach to life and work. Because true wealth, the kind that transforms your life, elevates your family, and builds a lasting legacy, is not the result of luck, of chance, or of a single brilliant idea. It is built quietly, confidently, and relentlessly. It is the reward for showing up again and again, and for making the small, correct choices that accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. It is created by people who understand that the journey matters more than the destination, that discipline outweighs impulse, and that patience triumphs over panic. If you commit to these habits, you are not chasing instant success. You are creating a life that will weather storms, seize opportunities, and grow in ways others cannot see in the moment. You are building a foundation that will support your dreams, your ambitions, and your legacy for decades to come. And over time, you will realize that the quiet, consistent choices you make every single day, the habits that most people overlook, are exactly what set you apart. They are the invisible engine of your success. They are the forces that make your life not just prosperous, but extraordinary.